Hello everyone, this is Indrajit Ganguly and today I am going to start the new chapter from the history syllabus of class 11, chapter number 3, An Empire Across 3 Continents. Dear students, this chapter basically deals with the history of Roman Empire. You can see that Roman Empire was divided into two parts. First, that is early empire, and second, that is late empire. In my today's class, I will discuss with you about the political system of the Roman Empire in the early empire. But before going to the discussion, let me tell you an interesting story about the ancient history of Rome. According to the Roman legend, Rome was founded in the year 753 BCE. Romulus and Remus, twin son of Mars. Remember students, Mars is the god of war in Rome. So these twin sons of Mars were left to drown in a basket on the river Tiber by a king of nearby Alba Longa. And it was believed that they were rescued by a she wolf. Later, Romulus and Remus defeat the king and founded their own city on the banks of river Tiber. Romulus killed his own brother and became the first king of the Rome, which is named after him. So in this way, the capital city of Italy, Rome, was developed. Remember students, this is a legend and it's not a true story. Okay, and I hope you are familiar with the name of Julius Caesar. Remember students, Julius Caesar belonged to the Roman Empire, but this chapter is not dealing with the story of Julius Caesar. Let me tell you some interesting things about Julius Caesar. I hope you know that Julius Caesar was a Roman politician and statesman who ruled as a dictator in the Roman Empire. Julius Caesar captured many parts of Europe and some parts of North Africa. And his greatest achievement was to introduce Julian calendar. I hope you know that he was assassinated in the Senate House of Rome. And the greatest scholar of English, that is William Shakespeare, wrote a famous play on the assassination of Julius Caesar. So remember students, this chapter is not dealing with the about Julius Caesar. This chapter basically starts after the death of Julius Caesar. So Julius Caesar adopted son who was Octavian. He took the name as Augustus. And in 27 BCE, he founded the Republic of Rome in 27 BCE, and that is known as Principate. And Augustus regarded himself as the princeps, which means in Latin word leading citizens. Remember students, Augustus was not an absolute ruler, but he was the leading citizen. So I have told you that, see, in 27 BCE, Augustus founded the Roman Republican system and it is known as Principate. You have to remember this term because it is important for 1 mark question. Okay, next you can see this is the political structure of the Rome, political system of the Rome. In the first structure, in the first strata of the system, emperor is in the first way, in the first part, first order. Second one is Senate. So Roman Republic was controlled by the Senate. I have told you Augustus was not an absolute ruler. Okay, so he was not the controller of the administrative system. The administrative system was controlled by the Senate, which is the second order of the political system of the Roman Empire. And remember students, the Senate was controlled by the aristocracy, wealthiest families of Rome, Italian landowners. These people usually represented the Senate. Next order of the political system of the Roman Empire was the army. Okay, army was the largest single body of the empire, and sometimes army agitated and revolted for their better wages and service conditions. Remember students, army was the very important component in the political system of the Roman Empire because the fate of the Roman Empire was actually dependent on the army. And the senators, second group, senators, they did not like the army very much because of the rude behavior and attitudes of the army, and army usually constructed many revolts, army usually organized many revolts, and they usually agitated, and they have some different demands, and whenever the armies divided, it caused the civil war. So the relations between the senators and army was not so very good, but army was a very important for the emperor because the army became the fit of the Roman Empire. So remember students, the emperor, the aristocracy and the army, these three peoples generally are considered as the three main players in the political history of Roman Empire. Remember student, it is very important for 3-mark question. Okay students, our next topic, that is 3rd century crisis. Remember students, first 2 centuries of the Roman Empire were by large period of peace, prosperity and economic expansion. But the 3rd century brought the first major signs of internal strains. So what are the signs? The first one, that is emergence of aggressive dynasties like Iran. Okay, the emergence of Iranian dynasty basically in the eastern part of Europe threatened the existence of the Roman Empire. Okay, there is a story that Iranian ruler Shapur I claimed that he had destroyed 60,000 Roman army and captured Antioch and many parts of the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire faced threats from the Iranian Empire. So it was the first problem, first crisis for the Roman Empire in the 3rd century. Okay, next. Alemanni, Franks, Goths, etc. tribal confederacies capture Rhine and Danube frontiers. Remember students, these tribal confederacies were considered as the barbarians. So the Roman Empire faced crisis in the northern part of the Roman Empire, basically the portions of Germany, France, and Belgium. These parts of region generally faced problem in the time of the Roman Empire. Next one, that is from 233 to 280, these periods saw 25 rulers ruled over empire. So you can believe that in these only in this very short period, just more than 47 years, 25 rulers ruled over the empire. So you understood that is this period was being seen as the economic instability in the Roman Empire. So that's why this period is considered as the 3rd century crisis. Remember students, this topic 3rd century crisis is very important for 3-mark question. Okay, our next topic, that is topic number 3, gender, literacy and culture. In this topic, basically, I will discuss with you features of the Roman society. Okay, number 1 feature, first feature of these of the Roman society, that is nuclear family system. Remember students, eldest adult son did not live with their families, and slaves were included in the family. So whenever the son became crossed 18 or more than 18, then he has to live his family. There was a nuclear family system and father was the head of the family, like in the other society. Next, that is the conditions of women. Okay, in the Roman Empire, the condition of women was very interesting. Okay, remember, women did not transfer her husband's authority, but she retained full rights in the property of her father. So it is a very important rights that the women enjoyed in the Roman society, that women is having rights over the father's property. Next one, that is dowry system was prevalent in the Roman Empire. Next, after the death of a father, women became the heir of all property. It is also another interesting thing, that is if when a father death, so not only son but also women became a primary heir of all the property. Remember students, in class 12 you will read about the conditions of the ancient India, you will read about the political and social life of the ancient India. So in ancient India, the condition of the women are not so very good, and they did not enjoy any rights over the father's property. Usually all the property, all the paternal estate was equally divided to the sons. So women did not enjoy any right, but in the Roman society, women was having the rights of her father's property. It is very important. Okay, next, divorce system was very flexible and it was very easy. Men and women, they can easily take divorce at any time. Next, age of marriage. Remember students, the age of marriage for males in between 20 to 30 years, and for the women it was between late teens to early 20. So these are the age of the marriage was fixed in the Roman Empire. Okay, according to Saint Augustine, wives were generally beaten by their husband. So you can understand domestic violence was generally prevalent in the Roman Empire. So the condition of women in the Roman Empire was not so very good. Okay, father may sometimes blackmail that he threw his unwanted child in the coal to die. In this way, generally the husband generally doing their work, and they usually blackmailing their wives for all their works and for all their needs. So this is the condition of the women in the Roman society. Next topic, that is literature. So casual literacy was prevalent in Roman Empire. What is the meaning of casual literacy? Casual literacy means a very few people, they generally able to read and write. We can say that literacy was widespread among soldiers, army officers, estate managers. So we cannot say that there was a vast number of people literated in the Roman Empire. Next one, that is cultural diversity. Remember students, Roman Empire was a culturally diverse country. Culturally diverse empire, because vast diversities of religious cults and local deities. Okay, there are several types of deities, local deities and religious cults are there. Remember, the story is about the before Christ. Okay, before the birth of Jesus Christ. So Christianity religion was not spread over Rome. So before the Christianity, there were vast religious cults were there, just like Mars, Jupiter, Juno, okay, Zeus. These kinds of religious deities, local deities are generally there in the Roman Empire. Next, there are various styles of dress and costumes. Okay, different types of food habits. Okay, plurality of language. Example, Aramaic was dominant language group of near the east. Coptic was spoken in Egypt. Punic and Berber in North Africa, and Celtic in Spain and Northeast. So you can understood that there are different groups of linguistic groups were lived in the Roman Empire. Okay, this is it for today. In my next class, I will show you and I will discuss with you the economic system of the Roman Empire. Thank you and have a nice day.